This is Biz Talk Radio, America's home for business talk. Online at biztalkradio.com.
And welcome back. It is Frankie Boyer, and Dr. Buck Blodgett is with us. He's the author of A Message from Jesse and is the founder of the Love Hate Project. He has also been in family chiropractic practice since 1996, and we're so thrilled he's with us today. He and his wife Joy were the parents of Jessie, who was murdered when she was 19, and since her death they have worked to end violence and to educate, motivate, and inspire young minds to choose love over hate. And boy, this is not an easy subject, and I'm so grateful that you're with us today, Doctor.
Well, thanks, Frankie, for having me on your show. It is a tough subject. A little trigger warning for your listeners. It's kind of graphic, but so important to talk about.
So important. Can you share with us what happened?
Sure. It was 6 years and 9 days ago, July 15th, 2013, a Monday morning. Soon after me and Joy, my wife, had gone to work, 19-year-old Jess was home alone, sleeping peacefully in her own house, in her own bed, when a friend of hers who was welcome in our home, well-known friend, came in, knew our routine, came in, went upstairs, and did the unthinkable. And not a crime of passion, but a well-planned attack. He hog-tied Jess, he gag-balled Jess, and he raped her, and then he strangled her to death. And that's what began all of this. But what I really came on your show to talk about was what happened next.
Okay. Tell us.
Well, what came from that terrible thing, that terrible event and tragedy, was a project. It's Jesse's legacy project. It's called the Love is Greater Than Hate Project, and our mission, we have a dual mission to end violence against our girls and women through culture transformation and to inspire people to choose love over hate.
This is such this is such a profound story, and it's such a devastating story. And no parent ever wants to have to hear the words that their child is dead. No parent should ever have to hear those words. It's not the natural order of life. Children bury parents. Parents do not bury children. That's number one.
You know, it came out of nowhere. Our life was rolling along fine. I'd never had anything really bad happen to me in life. And, you know, we had a family, and my wife and I had practices and a home and a beautiful daughter, and we were watching her grow up and turn into a great person, and really proud of her and inspired by who she had already become at age 19 and where she was headed. She saw her calling in life at a young age, and it was starting to play out and unfold, and this came out of nowhere. And, you know, the violence of it is bad enough, but the disregard for not only somebody's pain and their fear and, you know, what the experience in the moment, but also just for a few minutes of titillation and pleasure in a sick, weird way, to sacrifice somebody's lifetime, their future, just unbelievable. Hard to
nobody won. There are no winners here. Both families are devastated by this. Both families.
Absolutely, and he came from a good family, and you know he did this. Nobody else, and we always speak well of his family.
So how do you take the hurt, the devastation, and turn it into a mission? How do you take all of that and offer forgiveness?
Boy, there's a lot in that question. I'll see how brief I can be. You know, it's just a choice. Forgiveness is a simple choice. It's not easy, simple and easy, two completely different things, but it's just, chocolate or vanilla? Are you going to meet hate with more hate? Or are you going to meet hate with love? Are you going to, when violence strikes, are you going to react violently or peacefully? We're going to meet darkness with a darkness response or a light response. Something happened inside me when I got shocked out of my normal way of thinking and my normal way of, and I just knew that we had to meet this with an even more incomprehensible act of love and forgiveness. Had to.
So, since her death, you are educating us about these very common acts of violence. We are seeing this played out right now in Canada, where the young couple were killed by two teenagers. This is a phone call that parents are getting every day. The young old Miss student, they found her body murdered. Senseless murders. These beautiful people, senseless murders.
It's everywhere, Frankie. And Jesse tried to tell me, ironically, male and female violence was her cause in life, and before it became her cause in death too. And if she was 1 in a million, I wouldn't be on your show today. I'd be watching ESPN. But she's 1 out of 3. It's 1 out of 3 of our girls and women will experience some form of sexual assault in their lifetime. 1 out of 4 domestic violence. 1 out of 6 of our boys sexual assault. 1 out of 7 domestic violence. And it's 10 murders every day in my country, in your country, in your listeners' country. 10 more Jessies every single day by the hand of a man. And, most men would never do such a thing. But there's something in us, and I don't agree with all the people who say Dan's a monster, the young man who killed Jess. I think that's too easy. There's something in us. And but for the first time, but there's hope too. For the first time in my lifetime, for the first time since the dawn of mankind, this is no longer a shroud of silence, taboo subject, but it's a white-hot national conversation. And I think change is coming. I think we can feel it. We're moving towards critical mass and culture transformation on this issue. And the question is, how do we throw gas on the fire? How do we accelerate the process? How many more Jessies until we finish the job?
What makes this such a disturbing story, Doctor, is that this happened in your home.
Yeah, it's a sacred space, and you wouldn't expect it on a Monday morning from a friend. And the ultimate betrayal, hard to explain, hard to understand, hard to absorb. I don't want to be a genderist. It's always dangerous to generalize about any groups of people, but I've heard it said that when bad things like this happen, that women need to share their feelings about it and men need to do something about it. I'm not going to comment on whether or not that's true, but for me it was true. I needed to do something about this, and I need other people. We all need, it's too late for Jessie, but it's not too late for millions of our daughters everywhere. We owe it to them. I owe it to Jessie to do this project and answer my calling, but all of us owe it to our daughters and our moms and our spouses to address this issue.
So I just would love for you to share a little bit about the book and about the foundation, the project that you're on, that you guys are involved in, and give us the website, please.
Sure. The website is ligth.org. That stands for Love is Greater Than Hate, ligth.org. The book is called A Message from Jessie. It's available on Amazon. It's the whole story. It's a chronology of what happened, starting with Jessie's killing, and when I got the phone call that morning from Joy, who found her, and going through the criminal investigation and the trial, but also my spiritual journey and the forgiveness and the rather crazy, amazing, beautiful things that happened to me and my friends and Jesse's friends and others in our community, about 24 things that I used to call signs. Now I just call them answers to a desperate, broken, middle-of-the-night prayer the night after Jesse was killed. I used to be an atheist, not anymore, just for the record. So the book is the whole story, and the trial, and then the birth of the project.
Yeah.
Project, we do 3 things. I've done over 100 presentations of a message.
Oh, we're
for
out of
Jesse.
time, but I promise I will have you back, because this is an ongoing story that we need to hear more of, and we need to hear the hope. And I'm
thank you so
sorry.
much for having me. I'd love to come
No,
back,
I'm
Frankie.
so sorry for your loss. Thank you so much, Doctor, and we'll be back in a moment. This is Frankie Boyer. Stay tuned. Biz Talk.